On the road again, heading to a place called Sandstone, which is 2.5 hours southeast of Kew. It's been something that we've been wanting to shoot for a while, Virat in particular,
Yep.
which is a rock formation out there called London Bridge. So it's a sort of an arch-shaped rock formation, and so we're looking forward to that. We've decided to do that tonight. Originally we planned to do that tomorrow, but we've got another massive cold front coming in and we're expecting that to be clouded out tomorrow night, and in fact we're expecting cloud to come in around midnight tonight. So we're going to try and get that out there around 5 o'clock in time, maybe catch a sunset. But looking out the window now, the clouds seem to be, there's a little bit of high cloud around before, that seems to be clearing, but we'll see what we can do with that. And this will be the final shoot of the journey, the adventure. Okay, I'll wrap up here and we'll see you out at London Bridge. Hey guys, so we've arrived at London Bridge in Sandstone, and quite an impressive structure here. Just we've got like a little arch. It's probably as close as we get to Utah-like formations in WA. So we've got the Milky Way rising pretty much up through here. And if we go across a little bit to the other side, we can actually get a vertical Milky Way as well later in the evening, probably about 12:30. But for the minute, we're just going to walk around, set up, try and find some interesting compositions with it. But from this side, it is perfect for the rising Milky Way. On the other side, you can also get the setting Milky Way. We may or may not stay long enough for that, and the other thing is where the forecast is for clouds around midnight, so that may not happen anyway. So what do you think, Virat?
So happy. The 3 years I've been dreaming of this place, loving it so far. So
Excellent.
hopefully we get a good time lapse and sunset too. Those clouds should light up.
Virat living the dream. This looks pretty amazing. If we go a bit lower, we can probably set up a time lapse around here somewhere, so we can pick it up rising up through that region there. Right, so I've set up a time lapse just in this little corner. So the Milky Way is going to be rising up through this region here. I've got the Laowa 10mm set up on the Nikon Z30, so that's the equivalent of 15mm, which means I should get quite a bit of the sky and the Milky Way in. I've set it up for a day to night time lapse. It's going to be running for several hours, so this should create a interesting little time lapse. The shoot's progressing pretty well. Managed to get some blue hour foregrounds in at the London Bridge arch itself, and I've also shot some night shots there too, so I'll just choose which works the best. We did use a little bit of low level lighting on there, cross-lit it the way we often do. And then we've moved on and have done some tracked shots, a 20 and a 35mm set of track shots, not doing the full pano for the arch because we're not going to be able to fit that in the frame anyway with the way we've shot the arch. It's quite constricted down there, so it'll just be sort of the rising core itself pretty much. So now I've moved around to one of the little smaller sections of rocks with the Milky Way rising over that as well. We're having a few issues with clouds scudding through at the moment. The weather is supposed to get worse this evening, but it looks like the cloud may have come in a little bit earlier than we're anticipating. But there are some gaps, so I'm just going to stack this one. I'm just as simple as it gets, a landscape 20mm, and I'm just going to do a set of 50 stack shots, ISO 3200, f1.8, shutter speed 15 seconds, and hopefully pick some gaps in the clouds to squeeze that in. I need about 16 minutes or so. I'll just show you some of the results we're getting, so I'll stop this now and show you the back of the screen. It looks pretty good. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm pretty happy with the way this is coming out. You can see my settings there. I think I said it before. ISO 3200, f1.8 and 15-second shutter speeds. Lots of detail there in the core. You can just see the bottom of the rock outcrop here. I've got a low level light set up just to illuminate that a little bit. So now I'm going to lower my composition slightly to pick up more of the rock. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Right, so this is my foreground shot now. So I've just gone with a longer exposure, so you can see I've shot it at 119 seconds it says. I think it was actually 2 minutes. f2.5 and ISO 800. And that has produced quite a nice clean little image there, nice and sharp, and pretty happy with that actually. So you can see I've just done a little bit of low level lighting. So I've just got a small nanlite tube sitting here. I've actually got the cover on it because it just sort of softens it a little bit. I often leave the cover on even when I've only got it at 1 or 2% because it is still a little bright, but in this case I've got it quite a bit stronger than that. And so you can see that's just pointing up there at the rock face. So that's basically it for this little composition. I'll show you that at the end as usual. So the clouds have really started streaming in now, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to get too much more in tonight. I'm going to go wander over and see how Virat's going. He's trying to do a 50mm tracked panorama, which takes quite a lot of shots. So yeah, the clouds are probably creating a little bit of frustration for him. Well, mate, that's 7 epic days as we wrap up the Midwest Gascoyne adventure.
Yep.
What do you reckon?
One of the best adventures we had, I reckon, and some amazing photos. Yep.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure travelling with you, and
Likewise.
Thanks for sharing this with me.
Yep.
I don't know if I mentioned before that the inspiration for this trip was Virat winning a couple of awards in the Astrofest last year. So he won 2 nights at Gascoyne Junction, which was our first stop at Kennedy Ranges, and 1 night at Mount Augustus, which was video 3, I think, something like that. So yeah, I feel honoured to have been able to share this adventure with you.
And look, I reckon we're going to go with some memory of lifetime, and we're always going to remember it kindly. Yeah.
Absolutely. And as far as the wrap up for this video goes, awesome fun shooting here at London Bridge. As you can see, it is by WA standards a bit of an epic arch. We don't have too many arches in
Not like that.
in this state. So I think it all came together pretty well in the end. The clouds were fairly kind to us, weren't
They were
they?
playing hide and seek, but they're going to look nice, I think so, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we'll wrap things up here and return to normal broadcasting at the end of this one. See you on the next adventure, guys.
See you guys, thanks for joining. And subscribe and like.
Exactly.